Everyone, welcome to another Founder Wisdom Podcast, Sales Edition. Today we have Nadav Boaz with us. He is founder at articly.ai and also sensei.capital. We're going to talk about a bunch of business that Nadav started. Nadav is Israeli from Tel Aviv, fascinating guy with a bunch of passions. Including a dating app. We're going to talk about that one. Nadav, why don't you tell us about your background and tell us about all these beautiful businesses you started?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, my background, I'll say, starts in the army. That's where I grew as a person. In Israel, for whoever doesn't know, you need to join the army for 3 years when you're 18. That's the first time in my life I got actual responsibility. And when I finished the army, I was full of energy, so I didn't know what to do with myself. And eventually I decided to start a startup company. It was called Home Diet. It was supposed to be like some online office for nutritionists. It was interesting idea, very bad execution, worked on it for 1.5 years, wasted most of this time, but learned a lot on the process. My next thing that I did was creating a dating app, or like a dating service that actually started during my first startup. I was kind of like, I was so much occupied, I didn't have any time, so I decided to post Facebook ads to promote myself and to target girls. And it worked so well. I was going to like 1 or 2 dates every week without investing any time in talking and everything. And then I just turned it into a service. Yeah, I did a few other things. I ran to the Israeli parliament. I was the CEO of the Libertarian Party. I started an email marketing company, reached over 200 B2B clients in less than a year and crushed like big. Started a real estate company, closed it about 4 months ago, and then started providing solutions, automation solutions to companies, and also started my new AI company, AI articles company, which is called articly.ai. That's kind of my background.
Yeah, very interesting because you went in all the three main niches, right? They say get laid, get paid, or live forever. So it's like you started with like the health one, then you went into the get paid niche, the get a date niche, kind of to say it in a better way. And after that, you went into like full money mode with the email agency. Um, tell me a bit more. So like, yeah, the Facebook ads one, that's also like a concept that I thought about, and a bunch of other folks. Facebook ads was pretty game changing, like how you could like start ads and reach out anyone's in any niche back in these days. I also started with my first real startup was a health startup, was a nootropic supplement. I had to stop that one as well, and I almost launched a Tinder as a service back in these days, because yeah, I was good at it, but I was like, is this really what I want to invest my time in? Helping guys getting laid? Not really. It's like, it's not really ethical, um, and or like life changing. So yeah, I went in the business niche as well. Want to first talk about the email agency. So you grabbed 200 clients, B2B clients. So what did you do exactly? Was it cold email, just like my actual company, or?
So yeah, in Pragmatica, what we were doing, we were cold emailing people, and we didn't know anything. It was me and a partner. We didn't know anything about this industry besides that it works. And we had so many cycles of just destroying everything and rebuilding it. Like every 2 months, we just recreated the whole technology again because it couldn't keep up with how many clients we had. But yeah, like what we did, we just got B2B clients, understood their target audience, send cold emails for them, and send them anyone that was interested.
And what kind of software you use? I use Apollo. I talked with your friend also. He uses Seamless. I believe it was your ex co-founder actually. So what tools did you guys use for that?
Mhm. So we decided to build everything from scratch. Like we used AWS machines. We built a Python script that initially was mimicking a person. It was actually going to the account, writing every letter, pressing send. That was like Selenium.
Hmm.
And that was very nice until we got $27,000 bill from Amazon, and we understood, all right, that's that's not scalable.
Wow, that's interesting. So why did you build a SaaS out of it?
Well, that was the last stage of the company. We actually we had so many clients, but the technology didn't keep up. So we decided to build a SaaS, and we even raised some funding for that, so we can get rid of all clients and just tell them, hey, we are stopping right now. You can get your money or you can wait, but and that's what we did. And we invested a lot of resources in development. We were like 2 weeks before launch. And then our main provider that we based all of our infrastructure on decided to break the contract and tell us that they don't want to work with us. And
Why was that, and who was that? Was it like a
Mhm.
small provider or like AWS literally?
No, not that big. It was like some middlemen that they have some of the infrastructure already ready, and they
Okay.
were working with AWS. We used to work with them. Like we worked with them for I think 4 months before that. It was all good. They knew exactly what we're doing. That we were building SaaS on their infrastructure, but their COO just decided to tell us, hey, like we don't want to work with you. The reason was that they got a relatively high spam rate
Yeah.
from us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that makes sense, like, and we told him like, hey, you could tell us, we can solve everything. And it also makes sense because we ran 70 clients under their infrastructure at the time,
Yeah.
but they were not willing to hear anything.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Spam is one of my main problem nowadays. I think like Google started cracking down even more heavily. Um, yeah, and there's so many ways to fix. Obviously, like DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. That's important, but yeah, like I'm also thinking of completely removing any links from my emails. Although I really lighten up my um, past signature. Then there's the subdomain thing that if you want to stop tracking but use subdomains for that, that can also be a great alternative. And also today I'm gonna buy it like SendGrid's deliverability service. I think is like $50 a month, and they give you like all kinds of advice. Obviously there's warm-ups. Warm-ups helps, but yeah, like I've been getting quite a lot in the spam lately. I feel that Google and Microsoft have been cracking down on that. Um, what tips do you have to stay out of the spam?
Mhm. So initially it will be to send the email as clean as possible. So yeah, like no links, no images, pure text. We actually developed a method on how to send links without sending links, because we liked to write to a person, hey, I saw your I was in your website, and then a website link, and I saw 1 2 3 4. And how do you do it without actually sending a link? We found a sign that is exactly like a dot, but it's not actually a dot. So we replace it. And then if you just copy this to the URL, it searches in Google. Like it won't open it as a link. So it's not identified as a link. But for the eye, it looks exactly the same. So that's how we replaced links, but still targeted. But yeah, like just keep it as clean as possible and send less than 100 emails per day per domain.
Hmm.
That's the best tip. Yeah.
And how did you get? You told me 200 clients in 1 year, right? How
Yeah.
much were you charging, and how did you succeed in doing that?
Mhm. So I was charging 1,500 for white label marketing agencies and $2,000 a month for normal clients,
Okay.
plus $250 setup fee.
Okay.
We had a commitment of between 15 to 50 leads per month.
Okay.
And if we don't reach it on the first month, we continue for free, or we refund you your money,
Mm.
relative amount. And we had the cold email infrastructure, so it was pretty easy to scale with this and Facebook ads, and we had a sales team of like 6 people, commission only. So yeah, we're just selling a lot.
Nice. And basically, like how could you basically scale that quick and decided to shut it down like a year after? Like what happened? Why did you take that decision to completely close it down after such a success?
So what happened is that um, we didn't raise enough money. That's like the bottom line. We raised money. We didn't want to give too much equity when we were building the SaaS, so we didn't raise too much. And that was just a strategic mistake. We raised just enough for our perfect plan, and our plan was not so perfect. So when we had to like when our provider told us like they don't want to work with us, we didn't have enough funds to continue, and we already were in commitment to so many clients, but we didn't have any money to continue with. So we even took a loan, and like it wasn't enough, so we just had to shut down. And I think there was another thing to this. At this point, me and my partner, we kind of were sick and tired from this company because
Okay.
it was so tiring.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was stressful, I must guess. Did you ended up with a loss on that one, or could you recuperate your money? What happened?
We did end up with loss. Yeah, we ended up with loss. Like we took personal loans, to pay the last salary to the employees. We had 35 employees at the time. We made sure that like no one will be. We won't owe money to anyone. So yeah, we ended up with a loss. We were just extremely optimistic back then. I learned a lot of life lessons from this company.
And what was the thesis? Why not just use Apollo, and run the classic agency? Did you picture like gaining knowledge from how to build the sales SaaS and having a huge exit? Why not just the agency model? Why not start with it?
Well, yeah, from day one, we wanted to build a huge company. From day one, every dollar we received, we invested back in the company. We didn't pull almost any salary. We just want to have the biggest company possible with as many clients. And we were a bit how do you call it? We had hubris, like we thought we know everything better, so we didn't even search for solutions outside. We just tried to build everything ourselves. um and
Pretty
I'm sure,
bold.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, but you guys went all in, and that's really like huge respect from that. And most of us entrepreneur, we have losses. It's just naturally because this market is so competitive, and most of us aren't willing to be open about them. So thank you for that. And also, you've definitely learned some lessons from there. What were these lessons?
Well, yeah, the first lesson would be to make money from what I'm doing. Like I couldn't explain it more, because if I would focus on pulling some of the profits to my pocket, I wouldn't have to pay the loans that I took when I closed the company for a year after, and that will be one. And also, it's something mental. When you earn money and your salary increases, the more your company grows.
Yeah.
Another thing will be to grow gradually. I was so focused on just growing the company, more employees, more clients, and I didn't allow enough time to focus on infrastructure. And at some point, the company was just ahead of me. Like I couldn't catch up. There are too many clients, too many needs. I couldn't think. I was just doing actions. I was just reactive. I couldn't be proactive anymore. And I'm not getting into these situations anymore. And the last thing will be to keep it lean. Like at some point when you have so many expenses and you're pretty much the only executive in the company, you and your partner, it's very easy to lose track of your expenses. You have employees, you have salaries, you have services, and if you don't trim the fat every 1 or 2 weeks, you end up losing 5 to 10K a month for people that aren't just unneeded, or services that are unneeded.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm facing the same this year. This year we're in a recession, so it makes it pretty obvious, who's not pulling their weight in a company. And it's almost like immediate. It's like, yeah, we can't afford to have this person charge us X and produce minimal Y results. Um, so it's like I've cut down a great part of my team this year with this recession. I also had a similar experience as you with my first nootropic company, was a supplement company, and we were mostly in the red, and my partner, he's still CFO, finance profile, and he rightfully, I would say rightfully, because I'm not the rational one, in the partnership, decided to just, let's cut our losses and shut that one down. Approx 40, 50, 60K loss, and yeah, let's just like pay for those and go on our merry way, which is what we did. And yeah, I started a bunch of other companies with that, and lots of lessons learned. I got a PhD in entrepreneurship. From that one was my first real serious startup, and yeah, generated huge traction, huge momentum, which I can still feel in my life nowadays. Although yes, it saddens me that I'm like not in this industry anymore, the health industry, which was one of my favorite. Let's talk about real quick, like Great Deals US. You kind of transitioned to real estate. Basically, I mean, real estate is really saved value, so much money to be made there. It was the first niche that I attacked with my Facebook ads for realtors agency that I had back in these days. You kind of pivoted to that, and then you have Sensei capital. So tell us about these two for the last couple of minutes we have here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the real estate company Great Deal US, that started as a company of my friend. That he pretty much started the same time I started with my cold email marketing, but we didn't know each other back then. Small note: I live in Colombia for the past 2.5 years, and
Nice.
yeah, I live here with a few of Israeli friends, and some I knew from before, and so I met here. He's one of the guys that I met here, and once he heard that I closed Pragmatica, he offered me to join to his real estate company. That's a wholesale company. So for whoever doesn't know what a wholesale company is, basically you get a company, a property under contract for a very low price, and you tell the owner, I'm gonna pay you in the next 30 days. And then you have 30 days to find a buyer to pay for a higher price. And you sell it to him as your property or the owner, it doesn't matter because you have it under contract and it's yours. You can make between $5,000 to $50,000 a deal in 2-3 weeks that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just that you need to find them. Normally, landlords are not easy to contact, right? They're very old-fashioned people. So how do you do that?
Yeah. So the most efficient way I found was bulk SMS and cold calling. At the peak of that company, we had a call center with 7 cold callers, plus around 600,000 SMS messages on a monthly basis.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a lot. And all of these together cost around between 5 to 10K a month.
Okay.
And it generated between 600 to 800 leads. And our statistics were very clear. 1 out of 100 leads is a deal, and deal on average is $25,000. So, it was just pure math.
So like 6 deals a month, let's say 130K per month with like 10K-ish expenses. How much employees do you have on that one? Well, you pay people to do calls and send SMS, right?
So this was automatic. The SMS was automatic. The call center was inside this 10K. Also the SMS marketing cost. I had more costs, let's say around 15 to 20% of every deal was going as a commission to my agents. I had acquisition agents that were in charge of putting landlord under contract, and disposition that were in charge of getting the best deal from investors for these deals. So let's say, and each one was getting between 10 to 20%. So let's say take 30% of every deal. But on the other hand, it was commission only model. Then I have a few more employees, someone that's charge of legal stuff and everything, and my partner's salaries. So we had monthly expense of around $20,000 to $40,000. Yeah, something like this.
Okay, so yeah, let's say with employees, like five to 10K of employee salaries or whatever. Let's say that like 80K is remaining at the end, and you and your partner split up like 50-50. That's 40K each in your pocket per month, right?
Yeah, on good months. Yeah, we didn't
Okay.
always have good months.
And let's say like 20K on a average. So I mean, that's still pretty good. And that's one of your company. Look, I want to do a second round of this to talk about Sensei Capital. I want to talk about that. And today was really interesting. You added lots of value. So thank you for that. Just for the audience, until we do round two, where can they find out more about you and your companies?
Well, the best way will be LinkedIn. I don't have that much online presence, so just Google Nadav Boaz on LinkedIn. Sorry, LinkedIn Nadav Boaz. And you could always go to sensei.capital. That leads to my LinkedIn.
All right. Well, thank you so much.